if I'm okay. I don't see the light.
Well, first of all, listen, it's interesting about all these young guys today. They never call on us and say, hey, thanks for the kind word and telling me how great a player I am. But when they play like crap and we call them out, we don't know what we're talking about. Listen, I'm easy to find.
This is what's great about sports. This is what the greatest thing about sports is. You play to win the game. Hello? You play to win the game. You don't play to just play it. That's the great thing about sports. You play to win. And I don't care if you don't have any wins. You go play to win. When you start telling me it doesn't matter, then retire. Get out. Because it matters.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is your host, Nathan Snell of Big Nate Sports Talk Podcast. I hope you're all having a great Thursday afternoon. I hope you're all staying safe. Hope the week's going well for you. Before we get into the video, there's a few things I'd like to say up front. The Maryland video has been recorded. That should be going up tomorrow. I don't have enough time today to upload it for today. As far as the Washington preview, that'll probably go up tomorrow as well. I'll probably have that go live. No, I'll record it tomorrow evening or Saturday. That way we can go live for Sunday. There is no Maryland football this weekend because we're technically on a bye. The World Series preview, I'll have that pre-recorded as well. So be tuned in for that. In this episode, we are previewing, those Baltimore Ravens versus Mr. Dimple Chin himself, Tom Brady, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's a short week for the Baltimore Ravens after coming off a win, how can I describe this win? We barely scraped with the win against Cleveland. We beat them 23-20. Tampa is coming off an embarrassing loss where they lost by 18 points to the Carolina Panthers. The last time we've seen the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I think, we've beaten them. I think it's like 4-2. The last most recent matchup was 2018. I want to say correctly. For the Ravens, just some background. Going into this game, we have to be a little bit better protecting leads. We have not done a good job in that, and we almost blew another one against Cleveland. We are coming into this game. We're tied for first place in the AFC North with Cincinnati because of we hold on tiebreaker beating them week 5. When you looked at the games, we controlled the clock, but it came down to just not finishing in the red zone and also to pivotal turnovers and pivotal moments. As of right now, as an offense, we're 26th in passing, which is almost about 190 yards per game. while we're fifth in rushing. I think it's like about 156 yards. Scoring wise, we can put up almost about 26 points a game while we're allowing 23 points per game. Lamar Jackson, I think, has thrown 13 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. He's actually leading the team in rushing as well. Mark Andrews is currently leading all the receivers. We won't have J.K. Dobbins, so we're going to rely on Gus Edwards, Kenyon Drake, and potentially Mike Davis, Justice Hill. Mark Andrews, I know he's been dealing with a knee injury. I know Josh Bynes was dealing with a quad. Calais Campbell, I know he hasn't been feeling well. Ronnie Stanley, Marcus Peters, Marlon Humphrey, they didn't practice. I know they were limited. So on a short week, it's most likely just getting these guys just rest, and most of them should be good to go. As you look at Tampa, Tampa's been struggling this year, and some of that falls on their quarterback. As much as he is the greatest quarterback of this generation, they're struggling this year. I don't really think they have a true identity. I know they have dealing with injuries on the offensive line. There was one point in the season where Tom Brady didn't miss practice. He went to a wedding. This is a team that they lost to a team that a Carolina Panther team, in my opinion, that has not been the same since they lost in the Super Bowl. They allowed 343 total yards, even though they held the advantages. I think it was like three more first downs in time of possession. They didn't turn the ball over. They didn't get on the board until practically the last. They didn't find the end zone almost to the fourth quarter. And they're struggling. When you look, I looked at their stats. They're sixth in the league in almost averaging yards per, almost six in yards per contest, and they're 32nd in rushing. So I'm surprised that they're not getting Leonard Fournette going, Ronald Williams. They're not getting those guys going. They are 25th in scoring, averaging about almost 18 points a game, but they're fifth allowing defense-wise. Tom Brady has thrown 8 touchdowns, 1 interception. Leonard Fournette is leading with 340 yards and a touchdown. And then you got Ricard Wallace, and then you got Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, who really hasn't been 100%, Russell Gage, Cameron Brate's been dealing with a couple of injuries. So it's been kind of a mix. So, most of their guys, there's going to be a lot of guys that aren't going to be playing. Like Antoine Winfield Jr. is not going to be playing because of concussion. Kenny Britt's with the ankle injury. Carlton Davis. There are going to be a lot of holes on that defense if you're Tampa. When I look at this game tonight, one thing I'm looking forward to seeing from Tampa's perspective, I'll start with them, is offensively. Tom Brady is not looking good. Yeah, he's had 18 touchdowns. He has 8 touchdowns on the year. But that's the lowest. I want to say since 2001, because that was the year he replaced Drew Bledsoe, if I remember correctly. I think one is that even though he has enough time to throw in the pocket, he's been sacked 10 times. And they're 2 fumbles and an interception. So that's what I think looking at the stats like a +3 margin, something like that. And I can see where these false narratives on time are coming from. Whether it's not having Rob Gronkowski or recently he and his wife filing for divorce, and then Antonio Brown posting that picture. But this is a new system, practically a new team. Todd Bowles is your head coach. This still has Bruce Arians' fingerprints written all over it. Tom Brady has to take some accountability for the way that his offense has been performing. I have an issue with when he's yelling at his offensive line, and here you weren't even in practice. And you shouldn't feel good after getting embarrassed by the Carolina Panthers. You should not. I don't think it's I just see like he is supposed to. You're the leader of this team. You've been in these situations before. I mean, you can just, like I said, watching him go off on his offensive line, destroying tablets, and then, um, the watching Mike Evans, watching his quarterback, watching his number one wide receiver get tossed. Um, I think the biggest glaring issue that I see with Tampa is that they don't know what running the football is. I mean, they're dead last, as I stated earlier, in running the football. They average almost 64 yards per carry per game, and they haven't totaled 70, 60, or 70 more yards since the win against Dallas. I mean, Leonard Fournette's averaging just 3.5 yards per game, and then also too, their offense in the red zone is piss poor. And then that's where, again, you don't have Cameron Brate, Julio Jones, Russell Gage, Chris Godwin. Like, those things matter. And that puts more pressure on your offense. That's where you would expect Byron Leftwich to kind of go, okay, what can I do? Now, my concern is Baltimore. I think we're 23rd overall. We're ranked 26th against the pass. They did. Pittsburgh did put up a fight, but Pittsburgh ended up beating a Steelers team that also is not that great against the pass as well. So I'm curious to see that. Baltimore offensively, it just seems like we're just not offensively. We're not here. To watch last week, Lamar throw 16 passes, and it's interesting that just the first first 3 games, we looked like we were on top of the world, and then this kind of came back to reality. Whether it's the 4 interceptions past 4 games, some big blunders down the stretch, whether it's unnecessary penalties, whether it's poor execution, whether it's offensive, defensively, or giving up 28 points at home. Just a lot of mistakes that Baltimore has made. You can easily make a case in saying that our record would be different than what it is, but our record says what we are, and we are right now just a good team. We're not great. We're not contenders. We're not Super Bowl champions. We're just a good team. I really would say decent, to be honest. Lamar, I know, has been dealing supposedly with a hip injury, even though he shook it off and in front of reporters said he was okay. But like, our offense, it goes through Lamar Jackson, plain and simple. But I need Greg Roman to see these kind of things. Maybe take advantage of. Let's be more of a passing offense. Get the run game going early. Like, my number one target, Mark Andrews, I know he's been dealing with a knee injury, but I want to get him going early if he's good to play. Should not have a guy having no catches. That can't happen. So, I mean, and I think it's going to come down to also to who is. It's going to come down to a game of possessions. Like, that's what I think this game is going to come down to, because whether it's Justin Tucker or Ryan Suckup, these two have carried their offenses respectively. I think it's going to come down to game possessions. Especially because we're going to Raymond James, and playing there has always been tough. And Tampa Bay, you do have to respect, they are a top 10 defense. And I just feel like that might change today. This game, to me, is a must win for Baltimore, and it's a must win for Tampa, because when you look at the losses for Tampa against Carolina and Pittsburgh, you only muster 21 points, and they are 2-10 against other opponents, if I'm saying that stat correctly. And is this father time on Tom Brady? We don't know. Baltimore is also dealing with its own problems, whether it's lack of execution, finishing games, lack of leadership, injuries. From top to bottom, I'm just going to roll with Baltimore. I'm more confident with the Ravens because, for the most part, these guys are coming into this game healthy. I think that, like I said, the biggest one for me is Mark Andrews. I'm praying he should be good to go. But Tampa, they should have already figured out these mistakes. And they have, regardless of the injuries for Tampa, they have to play well on both sides of the ball. And like Brian Leftwich offensively is going to have to get these games going because he has his offensive scheme is just not working. And I just feel like Bruce Arians, who pushed for Ty Bowles and Brian Leftwich, he needs to give them some calm and just get them back to feeling good about themselves. So I think this is for both teams, getting back to feeling good about yourself. But I'm going to roll with the Baltimore Ravens in this Thursday night football game. I'm going to say the Baltimore Ravens sneak out of Raymond James Stadium with a win. I'm looking along the lines of 31-23.
Guaranteed.
I just see it that way. I just can't see. I even though I think Tampa's going to come in this game mad, Baltimore, I think it's going to come out. I think they're more healthy. I think they're ready to go, and I think the injuries matter. So with that being said, let's go into our last segment of the podcast.
Incoming message.
Yeah, man, just finish the week off strong. Weekend's almost here. Halloween's upon us on Monday. Just stay safe. I'm not big on Halloween. I don't celebrate holidays like that anymore. I've outgrown them. It's kind of interesting. We've already kind of gotten ready for Christmas and some other holidays, but that's all the subject for another video. But I mean, just finish the rest of the week out strong. Have a good weekend. Enjoy basketball. Enjoy football, hockey, college basketball, college football. College basketball is ready upon us soon. But my final message is just finish the rest of the week out strong, and I'll take it from there. But until then, let's hope that Mr. Tom Brady gets his act together.
But one thing I do want to say is that y'all can kiss my ass and everybody's ass.
So that's my final message because I'm not feeling Tom Brady after what I saw against him yelling at his offense line like that. I can't get on board with that. I think I respect him, but nah, that bothered me. With that being said, please like, comment, subscribe. Be tuned in for future episodes. I will catch you guys on the flip side. Peace.
But I get sick of these guys complaining. These young guys, they never call us and say, when a coach is wrong, I'm going to call him out. But when players are wrong, I'm going to call them out. Thanks for the kind words. But listen, I'm going to criticize guys if they deserve it. And listen, they can kiss my ass if they don't like it.
Thank you for tuning in to Big Nate Sports Talk. If you enjoyed that episode and you want to see more content, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Bring your sports game on Big Nate Sports Talk.